Omma, APPA, Omma, APPA, Omma. And there was more after that. Omma, APPA, Omma, APPA, Omma. And there was more after that. Something, something, something. And words that I don't remember. When I woke up, I had incredibly vivid dreams. For those of you that are new here, I'm a professional intuitive empath, and I'm a dream decoder, and I'm a reader, I'm a practitioner, I'm a transmuter of energy. And my spiritual life has been intensifying in so many different ways over the past few years, in ways that my friends can't understand, in ways that I have not been able to understand. Sometimes I get to unlock a new level and I don't unlock it, it is unlocked for me, which is very much, I think, the path of genuine organic spirituality. We are revealed and shown things when we're ready. Omma, APPA, Omma, APPA, Omma. I can't sing. I say it here all the time, but my angels would not let me rest my mind until I put these notes and sounds into a video that I could listen back to again, just so that I would know that they come in peace. They are, in fact, my friends, and they're yours too. I've had clients ask me, do you pray to angels? Because that's weird to me, because that's not what I was taught when I was dealing Catholicly or Presbyterian wise or Latter day Saints. And what I say is that angelic energy communicates with me, but God is at the head, as it always will be. That's me. We all have our own path to spirituality. But today, when I was dreaming, I heard angels singing to me. It unlocks something in me. I don't even know what yet. They have been communicating with me in various ways through sound before I could even understand what they said. My first recollections was over 30 years ago when they popped into my head through Morse code. I heard a series of beeps and I knew it was communication. Now, I don't know Morse code other than what we know that Morse code exists and it's a way that people were communicated with. But I heard a series of beeps and I knew that I was getting downloads. It was when the beginning of my gift was really being downloaded, uploaded into my system. I knew it intrinsically. I was in the fluttery space of REM sleep before waking, and I understood that they were shaking my spiritual foundation. I knew it. How were the pyramids built? How did the Romans create this incredible bath system and architecture before there was quote unquote great civilization? I mean, these were civilizations that did things with such precision. Those pyramids built, then covered in limestone that blinded you from miles away. It's eroded today, but we see, and it's perfect at the top. That was done precisely. These are downloads. People talk about ancient aliens and all the rest of that, but I believe that our angels come through and impart wisdom at various periods in our life, and we're given blueprints to things so that we don't just survive, we thrive. We can't explain so many things about ancient civilizations. We are fascinated today because we think that the technology has just recently come our way, but it's always existed in the cosmos. Omma, APPA, Omma, APPA, Omma. I don't know why that song was given to me today. There are a lot of other things in the dreams, confirmations about things that friends had asked me recently, specifically pertaining to their life. And I got the answer, and I know it's right. And I'll let them know when we speak again. But I understand that my angels are my friend, and they're yours too. There will be some times when you are asked to do things and people will not understand you. They will perceive it as you thinking you are better, special, set apart, or different, when really all you want to do is make a difference. Can anybody relate? When all you want to do is be great, Can anybody relate? But not from a place of ego, a place of offering what you know to the world so that you raise the collective vibration. I was watching a video recently from one of the subscribers here who has her own channel, Just Siri, and she was talking about how she was ahead of her time fashion wise. Her mother was a model in the 70s and 60s, I suppose, and she had access to her beautiful clothes, and she wore them in a way that wasn't normal in her school. Normal, quote unquote. What are the normies? And someone was cruel to her, and she said, they actually bullied me. It's the first time I remember really being bullied, or it's the first time I conceptualized that this was happening to me, when she came in with a pair of hot pink skinny jeans, and some guy looked at her that she thought respected her and did, but couldn't withstand the peer pressure because he wasn't evolved as a kid and he didn't know the assignment that Jess had. And he said, "You are not one of us." And it made her feel bad. That was a very powerful story to me. She was doing a smoky eye in the video and talking about many things, but that part stuck out to me. I don't even know if I mentioned it to her, but I thought, wow, we all have moments when we can remember not being included or ostracized because of what people felt about us because we went against the grain. In my spiritual practices, it has been the same. No one has ever understood, and sometimes not even I. When I hear an angelic choir as I'm residing in a dream, and it's so bright and vivid, and it's the best melody I've ever seen because I saw the colors. Synesthesia, I think that's what that's called, where you can hear colors, or excuse me, you see and hear colors, yes. And what I realized is that this is otherworldly stuff. This is nothing that I can explain when I wake up, except they asked me to try. But sometimes, like Jess, you will have people that look at you and do not understand your style, your spirituality, your drive, or what motivates you. And they will say, because they are small minded, that it never should be that way. What she did go on to say in that story was several years later, everyone was wearing those skinny jeans, their girlfriends, and then soon to follow the guys as well. She was a trendsetter. An empath, an earth angel, and light worker, that's what we are. Those ancient civilizations that were downloaded with information that we didn't understand, that changed the landscape of their towns, cities, and their plumbing system. We cannot conceptualize where they got that from because we think we are the originators in this current civilization of information. But there is something greater than us at work. Omma, APPA, Omma, APPA, Omma. There is communication that is happening that helps us understand our worth. And whether it's a pair of pink skinny jeans that you burst onto the scene and you change the dynamic of what everyone's ever seen, or if it's a spiritual thought, a song, or wisdom, we are here to create things. We have offerings that raise the vibrations, and people will not always understand and think you're up to machinations. You become Belle's father in Beauty and the Beast, the mad scientist, and everyone thinks you're crazy until everyone realizes that not only were you not crazy, you were right all along. I am here to stand with you when you don't feel so strong, and so are your angels. They're your friends. I am here to help you when you don't feel the bond with other parts of society because they're ostracizing you, because they don't see you clearly and they didn't hear what you heard. Omma, APPA, Omma, APPA, Omma. They did not get the word. They did not know that you were not to be made fun of, but maybe listened to, and maybe just respected for being you. Maybe you're not here to just shake the table every time. Maybe you're not here for new pathways, neural or otherwise, to define. Maybe you just had something to say. Maybe you just wanted to wear pink skinny jeans that day. Maybe you wanted to march to the beat of your own drummer. I'm here for those of you that never understood that you get to live and bask in your own summer, where the light's on you, where you shine, where your skin is bronzed and not not baked. Skin care matters, guys. I guess I have to say that too. Please wear your sunscreen. I do. Do you know that I put on sunscreen every time I go out? That was something else that Jess talked about, and I thought, I so relate to you, Jess. I totally get it. For different reasons, though. We are different ethnicities and colors, but that matters. Anyway, I digress. I want you guys to bask in the cosmic rays. I want you to understand that people will not always understand what you have to say, and it doesn't matter. I have had information given to me that has saved my life on many occasions. I have been told to leave toxic situations. I have been made aware of someone's insecurities. I have been made aware of someone's impurities and how they would affect me. Because as an empath, we are sponges, we soak things in. And if you're around a toxic person, you will soon morph into them, not because you're not strong, but because it is our gift. But I decided to shift away from toxicity and use my gift positively. I can't be around people that are perpetually not wanting to do for themselves. That doesn't mean that empaths, we don't get depressed. It doesn't mean that we do not doubt ourselves and get stressed. It doesn't mean that we do not have bad days. It doesn't mean that we will not want to hermit away. It doesn't mean that we don't have negative self-talk. It doesn't mean that we don't second guess the things that we've gotten into. What it does mean is that we listen and we adjust more quickly than others do, especially when we take time to clear our energy and be privately, quietly with just us, with me, with you. I don't just mean here in our parasocial relationship, I mean your private time where you date yourself. I put up a picture recently where I had a solo beach date where I had salad and sushi and I sat by the shore and then I put my toes in the sand and I remembered what for, why I was here. People often can take the actions that you take as despair. They will feel, pardon me, guys, they will feel that you pulling away is a rejection of them, a repudiation of their energy. And not always is that the way it will be. Sometimes that's true, but you have to do what's best for you. I've never been a follower. I was a weird amalgamation of many things. Popular, but not popular. You know what I mean? Many of you guys can relate. I was president of band and I was on SGA and I hung out with all of the kids because I had something to say. The thing that got me into beautiful mansions on the beach with elevators that was a far overreach from the place that my single mother could afford is because when I was a teenager, is because of my words. We all have a special gift, empath, and my conversation was interesting. And so I got to talk to all manner of people, and other people that felt like I shouldn't be there attacked me. I so related to Jess in those pink jeans because I was weird and I didn't fit the scene and I wasn't Caucasian because I was in a predominantly Caucasian environment and I was in the honors classes with other kids, but I was the only black one. The rest of them were white, and the parents did not feel so right about that. I bring this up today to say, because that was my ostracization story. That was my origin story of being pushed away often and repeatedly, and not for the merit of what I was worth, but just for the color of my skin, the opposite of what Martin Luther King talked about in his I Have a Dream speech. I wasn't embraced just because I was repudiated and rejected, and people thought that I was too much. Let's talk about being too much. If people think you're too much, they will find ways to make that true. They will figure out confirmation bias about you. I imagine that Jess, in her situation, those kids had a conversation before the spokesperson came to her that actually did like her and actually thought she was cool, but other people got in his ear and then he came forward as the delegation representative to say, we don't like you. This is weird. But I bet you he looked at her and he was like, those are cool. Instinctively, as she was telling the story, because I'm psychic and that's the way my gift works, I could hear the conversation in his head all those years ago. It was when other people got in his head because he did not know who he was and he did waver to peer pressure that he then brought that mess and nonsense, that toxicity and that noise to her. We are trendsetters. And I don't want you to forget that. We are people that don't buy it back. Jess didn't stop wearing her fun clothes from her mother. As she said something else that I thought was really powerful. She said that her fashion sense was informed by her mother, who was a model, and fashion, high fashion, is never on trend with what you're getting from JCPenney or Walmart or Woolworths or whatever you had at the time in your day, the place where most people got their clothes anyway. And I know that right now there is this whole proliferation of TikToks where models get dressed. And so often in the comments, everybody's like, are you trying not to make it work? But they're not in the same circles and they don't know their worth like those models do. Meaning, if she's wearing Hermes and she's wearing a Calvin Klein boot and you think that doesn't look right together, then you're not on a fashion week like she is. She is set apart for a reason. It doesn't mean she's more special, but it means her eye is different because she's been trained to see something differently. Empath, the same is true for you and me. We are trained to see things differently. Just because someone says, here's my new group of friends, you should like them, doesn't mean that we don't get to say, I don't think so, for these reasons spiritually that I understand and know that you don't yet. You can set yourself apart. So often we're used to being the quote unquote rejects. And that has broken many of us, many of our hearts. But the truth is, it was practice for the flip and the switcheroo. First half, second half. The second is where we get to thrive and it's where we get to do what we want to do. I implore you today to listen to your own song and to go your own way. Didn't Stevie say it best? You can go your own way. That was about divesting from a relationship. But message, maybe that's what it has to be for you to survive, empath, and live happily. Whether it's a friendship, toxic, narcissistic friends, toxic relationships that need to come to an end, family, foe, lover, you know, fill in the blank, coworker, mother, sister. Sometimes you'll hear something, a heavenly choir, a warning bell, a siren, and no one in the world can validate that you heard it. People will want to argue with you. Well, I don't think it's exactly this way, but they don't need to. Only you do. Omma, APPA, Omma, APPA, Omma. I can't necessarily carry a tune, but I will never forget that they just aligned my frequencies while I slept. They communicated with me and they said, it is for this reason, Monette, that we have given you the ability to hear and we have given you sight and insight when other people have lived in fear and have not treated you right. We told you to move away and not to debate with crazy because we all have versions of crazy, Lightworker. Me and you too. But the difference is that we make adjustments for the things we need to do. I come to you with so much love today, directly from an angelic choir and conversations where they said everything they need to say. And I don't remember that part, but I remember the incantations and the sounds, the intonation. I remember the legato expression. Legato means spread out. Staccato would be peppered words spoken like this, punctuated quickly. But the angels didn't do that this time. It was legato. It was enchanting to me. It was beyond heart music, though that was the location I put it at. They were realigning something in me and also downloading new information. I can't wait to see what comes out because every time they communicate with me that way, there is a new turnabout in my life. I love you guys. It's okay to be weird. It's okay to be different. It's okay to not hear what everyone else hears. It's okay as long as you're checking with your internal compass and the angels that bring messages your way. Clear it with God, clear it with universe, clear it with source. But do not waver in your worth, my sweet empath. You have so much to offer, and you are never supposed to be down the regular path. You are off the beaten path. It is your destiny. It is eventually the place you will see. It's the only place to be, and you will not regret it. But it takes strength and temerity to stand when others say, "You're the weird one." That's okay. God always validates us and brings confirmation our way. So good sharing energy with you. Come back and join me next time, and we'll continue to evolve together.